What is up, comic fans? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Sunday. That means this is at week's end. The spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and so much more. And there's a lot to dive into this week. I'm excited to do it. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up while the intro plays. Huge shout out to the channel sponsors, Big Time Collectibles. Be sure to follow them on social media or check out their website at bigtimecollectibles.com. You don't want to miss out on the heat they're slinging these days. They sponsor the monthly channel member giveaway, the Legion Loot. So be sure to hit that join button down below and become a channel member today. And if you need anything cleaned or pressed, hit up my friend Justin over on Instagram. Be sure to let him know that you found him via the channel. That way you can take advantage of the special offers that he runs for the channel viewers. And lastly, a huge shout out to my local sponsor, my local comic shop, the Augusta Book Exchange, or now named ABX Comics and Games, as they've just moved to a brand new location and a new phone, who dis. So be sure to hit the description to find the links to all the channel sponsors, as well as Pop's Attic over on Instagram, who's got something really fun planned for the next coming weeks here that you're not going to want to miss out on that. So let's go ahead and bring in the panel. As always, I'm joined by my ring-slinging compadre from the next sector over. What is going on, Paul?
I'm doing well. I plan to have a lot more to offer this week than I did last week, I promise.
Still haven't seen it. Still haven't seen it.
I know.
So Nick went back and saw it a second time, and he said it was even better the second time. The theater was still packed the second time, which is good to hear. So for everyone that is out there, we're talking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, a fantastic wrap-up to that trilogy. And joining us, hailing from the Great White North, none other than Mr. TM Nerdy.
Hello, everyone.
I love the Transformer display behind you. You're definitely getting in the mode, I'm sure, with Rise of the Beast just a month away now, right?
Less than June 8th. Yeah, June 8th, I think.
So we get that the week before Flash. Talk about a doubleheader, dude. That's fantastic. I'm big excited for that. I'm definitely taking Finn. It's going to be fun. I'm one of those unapologetic fans of the Michael Bay Transformer movies. Don't care. Love them. My wife just yelled, agreed. Good stuff. Well, I'm excited to have you guys here. I'm excited to talk about some of the new books and news from this week. But let's go ahead and say hey to the chat before we dive into any of that. As always, Las Cruces 1971 is in the building. You made it first to the chat today. He tapped in at 4:48 p.m. to make sure that he got his first in line, but he did bounce right back. Hello from New Mexico. Comics by the Bay is in the building. Yee-haw. So, yeah, he just confirmed for Heroes Con. So, Matt will be attending Heroes Con. Did you co-sign that, TM? Did you give him permission to bunk with your boo?
Yeah, I had to sign off on it. Like he wasn't allowed. He had to come to me. It's just like when you were asking the father for his daughter's hand in marriage, he had to come to me and ask me permission first.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. I know I would. And speaking of Roscoe, I voted for him on the favorite community artist for the Cbc Awards. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It didn't say who's the best artist. It says who's your favorite artist. And I love Roscoe's style, and I love Roscoe as a human being. He's got all the good vibes, you know. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're drawing stick figures. If you're the nicest fellow out there, you earn the vote. His favorite artist, you know. Hey, TM with the Superman emoji. Very cool, very cool. Evil's Comics is in the building. We're at the end already. We are. We're technically at the beginning.
Right.
It's Sunday. New week, new me. Couching and slouching with C Bizzle is in the building. Good evening, my comic book heads. Good evening to you too, brother. Hope you're doing well tonight. Wheelchair Superhero 87 is in the building. Hi, comic fan. We are Legion. We are, in fact, Legion. There's some more of those custom emojis you get for being a channel member. Let's go, Legionnaires. What is going on, Pops? How are you this evening? Well, I know the answer to that. Talk to him all the time. Shop for Comics. What is happening? Dude, the shop verse is huge. Did y'all see where he put the post on Instagram? I think he had like 115 character drawings on it.
Yeah, it said 115. Yeah.
That is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool. And you can look at them, even with them being small, sharing the same page. You're like, I know that guy. I know that guy. They're really cool. Hashtag we are Legion. Hashtag shopverse. Yeah, that's awesome. Durs is in the building. Hello, my beautiful homies. Hope you got your belly full mark. I did. We went to the gourmet dining experience of the Golden Corral. I love me some Golden Corral. Pocan Joe, what do you know? It's Pocan Joe. Hope you're doing good tonight. Dr. Von Hoot from the Spiral Dimension. Hoot. Evening all. It's a thing. Flash Ray Videos, good evening. How are you doing tonight? William Wilson, what is up, brother? Hope you're doing good as well. I am back. Had to grab something to eat. I don't blame you there. Don't blame me there at all. Travis plugged you on my show today, my guy. Yeah, take that more than one way.
Yeah, I thought I felt something.
and that's across country lines. That's got to be illegal.
Yeah. Yeah. What is going on, Stephen C? What is up, brother? That package that you sent me, Stephen, is still unopened. Still unopened. I need to open that ASAP. My goodness. Michael Bay, fire. Absolutely. I've got packages that go back to January 2022, I think, is the earliest one. Might be some earlier. What is going on, Becker? And I do. My wife just showed you need to get your stuff together. I just don't really. I try not to do just regular unboxing videos, and then with the shorts, I figure I just do unboxing videos in short form. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But let's see here. We got Derek Kane in the building. What is going on? Hey, now, what's good? You are good, Derek. Trev the Shipping Guru. Good evening. Good evening. Hello, Phil. How are you doing tonight? Michael Bay can kiss my hairy beanbag. Thankfully, this one could be good like Bumblebee. I love Michael Bay, man. Absolutely love his movies. Good evening, John from John's Comics with Kids is in the building. Kyle, you expecting somebody? Someone just pulled up out front. They're pulling off now. They might have been pulling over for another car. It was a white Jeep. It pulled up right in front of the mailbox. Nice Thunderbird shirt, Mark. Hey, perfect timing, Kyle.
Yeah, now they're going next one.
Hey.
Look.
Wait, do it again. I just made it big. Thunderbirds. Yo, that was amazing. If y'all ever get the opportunity to go see the Thunderbirds, go do it. It was insane.
And then immediately go home and watch Top Gun.
Yeah, we did that. We came home and fired up Maverick immediately. It was perfect. The whole family sat there. Even the 3-year-old just sat there. What is going on? Esteban is in the building. Hey, everyone. How's it going? Pretty good, my friend. How are you doing today? All right. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Hector, what is up? Hello. You now I open my package from you. Yeah. All right, well, I think that's it. If I missed you, I apologize, but I'm not sorry. And there we go. Did you guys get any other awesome jets like the F-22 or F-35? There was a bunch of different kind of jets there. There was like, God, man, you'd have to ask Pops. Pops would know. He knows the names of them better than I do. But there was for one, they had like a couple of prop planes that were doing their own thing. Then they had some of the Red Bull team, like they had one of the Red Bull racing planes there that was doing like stunts and stuff. And they had the Red Bull helicopter that was like doing backflips and barrel rolls and helicopters and stuff. And then they, yes, Becker it is. And then they had a couple of jets outside of the Thunderbirds. But when they came in, man, it was something else, that like crisscrossing and swooshing and all the different formations. I assume every shirt Mark wears is some sort of hidden message to me, for the most part. Definitely for the most part. Jimbo Slices in the building. What is up, brother? Hope everyone's doing good. Welcome to Week's End. Absolutely. Dude, what is going on, Robert? Flash 6792. What is going on, my friend? How are you? Superman and Lois' latest episode was fire. So we'll probably get into that here shortly. I'm behind on it, but definitely want to hear what Paul and team have to say about it. But yeah, first off, before we go any farther, if you're in the Tulsa area on Father's Day weekend, the Tulsa comic book swap is happening. Be sure to look that up on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you look things up at. Tulsa Comic Book Swap on Father's Day weekend. I believe it's free admission as well. Community member Nick, I don't want to butcher his last name, but Nick G put it together and put it on and everything. And a lot of us here in the community help by sponsoring a T-shirt just to help just get the word out and stuff. So we're trying to do that. What else is there? Oh, the CBC Awards. Travis, you want to tell people what's up with that?
The CBC Awards, you guys can go nominate your favorite comic book YouTuber. Now there's tons of categories. It's at the cbcawards.org. And if you don't want to nominate, if you come across a category that you don't know anybody that would properly fit that category, you don't watch, like let's say you don't watch speculation comic book YouTube, and you don't know who to put there, you can skip that question or skip that nomination and just go on to the next one. So it's open now. Everybody is more than free to go nominate your favorite person right now. Also, everybody that nominates gets entered into a giveaway. So everybody that nominates somebody, their name gets added into a draw at the end, and you could win a fantastic slab.
I think it's a John Jang slab, isn't it? It's that Spider-Man Miles Morales John Jang variant.
Possibly. I'm not sure who did the edit on it.
I didn't know anything about that, and I saw somebody, I think it was yesterday, I saw a reel on Instagram where someone's like, the CBC Awards, go vote for your chance to win. I had no clue until you just said that what that meant, but I do recall seeing the John Jang book. Don't trust anyone that loves Danger Street. Well, that's why I don't trust you, Taylor, because we know you love Danger Street. Hi to everyone in here tonight. Hello to Kenneth Bird. Hope you're doing fantastic. Yeah, and even if you, even if you don't know anyone to vote, like he said, go put something on there. You don't have to fill out every one of them. I learned that last night because with it, I went and voted, and with it having like the channels 5,000 and above, I realized I don't watch any of those except for like one, and that's Comic Tropes, which is like the best comic book information, writer, artist, history type stuff that exists. And that's the very first content I ever watched comic related on YouTube. So I put him down. Chris over at Comic Tropes. He's one of the good ones, man. He really is.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm not sure who to nominate. Just put my name. I do it all, baby. There you go. Upside down cover. Yeah, so it is the Miles Morales Spider-Man #1. It's a Big Time Collectibles exclusive. It's John Jang's first ever Marvel cover. Yeah. Nominate me for Sexiest Unboxing Channel. I actually put Remy Q Studios down for unboxing. The man uses a chainsaw. Is it really any competition to that? Let's be honest.
I got worried though because he wasn't putting out any unboxing videos for a while, so I was
he
like,
did that day.
Yeah.
And in all sincerity, Remy wasn't even thinking about that. He just got a package in. He doesn't put that much forethought into. Let me coordinate this chainsaw with the release of those nominations, but it worked out good. Remy Q, baby. I would nominate Taylor for just the sexiest. It's the hair that does it for me. The way he just like takes his finger and runs his hair back. That's what does it. I would say the same about you, Paul, but
So do you feel like you're wearing your shirt backwards, because you never? I think I've ever seen you with your hat with the visor in the front.
Yeah, this one works better forward than backwards because it's not broken at all yet, and I hate breaking in hats. I absolutely hate it. That's why I got this one, wore it for like a day, and then went right back to my other one. But I cut the grass today, so the other one is super sweaty. So I'll just wear it to work tomorrow, and I wash my hat at work because I have like the easy access to washing stuff and the drying stuff with the kennel. So I'll just end up washing it first thing in the morning. Probably wash my hair after that too, after wearing it to work. When do the nominations end? Oh, I have absolutely no clue, John.
I want to say August. It's sometime in August, I believe, at the beginning of August.
Yeah, it's going for a while, so you definitely have time because I think there's like months.
Crap. Yeah, so I have the page pulled up here because I went to get the link. So 5/13 to August 5th is the nomination period. Wow. Oh my God! They don't even announce a winner until December 2nd. God, these things last for half the year.
Mhm.
An event.
That way people can get their nominations in and don't have to feel rushed to get them in and actually sit down. And probably like Johnny's, he has like a whole backboard up and he's like, okay, this guy here. And then he'll be doing that for weeks.
Reminder, Mark reads the chat verbatim. So add things like cuz or playa at the end of your messages. He'll say it, B. Open 8 weeks. That's a long while. Like Ron Burgundy in this bitch.
That's
So
more than 8
anything-
weeks if we open until
Yeah.
August.
Durs is using cover logic, but on a calendar now. That's a good question. Can you unnominate someone if they piss you off?
The thing that I like is once the nominations come out, it's a great way if you've never seen something, it's a great way to just take a look at, if you've never seen a channel and you see it nominated, you know that someone thought enough of it to nominate it. Go and take a look at it and see what you think. So you might like it.
Mhm. I know that's what Durs was talking about today. That's how he found a large portion of the community that he spends a lot of time with now was from the nominations last year. And hopefully it has a bigger footprint this year. Well, it obviously already does, but I want it to be successful for all the effort that Brian and I guess the committee put into it as well. I don't know. For as much space in Marcus's head that he lets this thing rent out, defending it, I hope he feels justified by the end of it. That's how I'm going to gauge its success, is if Marcus is happy with it, because Marcus cares the most about it, and not winning or anything like that, just the most.
Right.
Which is
the people at Price Waterhouse.
And that's a guy that's been championing it for like the last 2 years, never been nominated once. It's never been hurt by that, just keeps championing it and shouting it out in that because he cares about it that much. So there's a guy that, yeah.
And in all sincerity, really the only channel that matters, that needs to win, that honestly gets snubbed is Freaky Louie. They literally created a whole new category to cater toward his brand of content, to separate his brand of content, which is a very unique brand of content. He's not speculating comics. He's not just doing hauls. I mean, he's doing what the award show is like a riff of what Freaky Louie does, with like homaging comedy segments from other stuff and everything. So the award ceremony itself is like clearly heavily inspired by what Freaky Louie does. And Tyler had a good point on In the Mix, where you go to the Academy Awards and you win a statue called the Oscars. They need to name the trophies for the CBCA the Louies. I won a Louis from the CBCA. I think that makes sense. And that instead of it just being a little piece of plastic on a light up stand, you need to get it one of those little things, just Louis' face like this.
Enough said.
Yeah, that's what they should be. Louis was the second channel in the community I subbed to.
I'm kind of curious now. Who is your first?
Yeah, exactly. You put hashtag my pet rock.
Let's go.
What is up, bro? Yeah, you missed it earlier, Roscoe, but we started this conversation. You got my vote for favorite community artist this year, my man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I voted on one last year or if there even was one last year.
No, this is the first year for it.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Well, y'all got any comic book news related stuff to get into, to talk about, or anything like that? I don't have any good news.
Yeah, the solicitations for August should come out the end of this week, I believe. But we had there was a Doomsday one shot that was announced, I believe.
I did see that. Bjorn Barron shared his cover for that. It looks insane.
Yeah, and
Christian
Comic that shared Puppeteer Lee cover too.
Yeah, he's got a good one. Do we know if it's going to be Doomsday proper, or if it's going to be a Doomsday Breaker thing?
I don't know. Not sure.
I am excited about the prospect of getting more Doombreaker stuff.
Yeah. I mean, for DC, their solicitations, it'll be 90% of them will be the issue 2 of the Night Terrors.
Boo.
So there's not going to be a lot there probably.
Now as it's getting closer, I'm getting less and less excited about the Night Terrors thing, just because how much it's encroaching on other stuff. It's just bad timing, really. I think this was a terrible time to be dropping an event that does all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it on a deep dive, and then we talked about it with Jeremy Adams too. Is when you're starting up a lot of these things and you're only getting 6 issues, to suddenly, 1 or 2 issues in, you suddenly have to have this break where you have to do this massive crossover thing. It just kind of really takes the piss out of
it really
out of your
does.
story.
Like, this would have been better. Sorry.
No, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say this would have been better, like if you put it out during like the Halloween, like in October.
Yeah,
because it's like a horror type of story, and it would have fleshed perfectly. Everybody would have been picking everything up because they want that horror type-esque stuff from their comics at that time. But in the middle of like the summer, it's kind of
that's when we do our events, and it doesn't even feel like an event proper with the format of it. It just feels like, because Lazarus Planet was an event, but it wasn't like your summer blockbuster event. That's typically got a certain format to it where you get like 7 issues of the actual event title. An event will have its own book, its own title, and then it'll hit things here and there along the way. But this is like Lazarus Planet, where you just kind of have like an intro, a middle, and an end, and it's just all over the place in your other titles. It doesn't have like a 1 through anything. It's kind of weird. I don't know. We did get that little tease of it in the free comic book day book, which really didn't do anything. It was literally like a movie teaser, like it wasn't even a full trailer.
Right.
Did y'all read that?
Yeah,
I did.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was like kind of weird, and that's why I said like it better during Halloween, because I don't know if everybody's in the mood for it, but I just happened to be in that mood for that weird type of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, there were a lot of the design concepts for a lot of the different heroes in there, which was kind of cool to see, but none of them really made me look at them and go, ooh.
As Vaughn said, I really hate that a lot of the comic book series are already flat out 6 issues instead of ongoings. And we can touch on that topic, because that's me and Paul were actually talking about that. It seems like that topic's kind of coming up today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, they've guaranteed 6 issues, but if people are buying the issues, they'll go beyond 6 issues, because DC wants to make money. And so if there's stuff that's selling, it's not like the old days where, like in the old, where everything was on a newsstand, it took 8, 9, 10 months for somebody to be able to tell whether or not a comic book was selling. This is almost, because of UPC codes and everything, and point of sale stuff, they can know from the date. They know a month ahead of time from the FOC orders. If it's not returnable, they know how much it's selling. So, they've been pretty upfront about saying that, what we're doing is we're giving everybody 6 issues, but if it's something that's selling that people really want, we'll continue it. And we've already had Green Arrow extended beyond 6 issues to 12.
Yeah, and this is really the same format. Like I think it's because they kind of went public with the format and talked about it, like for the PR purpose of it. But they've been doing this since Infinite Frontier. They had that little financial crisis mode 2.5 years ago, where they reduced like their titles all the way down to like Action Comics, Superman, and the Bat titles. That's pretty much all we had coming out. And then you had the Black Label series, but back then they were starting to do little mini series. Like there weren't a lot of them, but like the Crime Syndicate 6 issue, the Swamp Thing mini series that also extended. They started testing those waters. Like because that's the nature of comics anyways, right? They can announce an ongoing series, cancel it at issue 10 because it's not selling, or they can tell you up front, we're going to do a 6-issue series, have a proper arc. If it does good or bad, you still have a proper story. But if it does good, you get to put out good press and say, people are digging this, we're extending it, and that gets more attention, more eyes on it. It kind of eliminates the bad press of losing an ongoing. It's a pretty, in my opinion, it's a pretty smart strategy, and it allots for this massive, massive catalog that we're getting. I mean, we got Shazam, Hawkgirl, Green Arrow, new Wonder Woman, new Batman, new John Kent, new Superboy. There are so many books coming out because of this format that there's a better than not chance that people that you really, really love are getting books that would be ignored otherwise. Because you can't promise an ongoing Hawk Girl title. I mean, you just can't do it. But you can give us a miniseries. It just, there's a time and place for it. I mean, Marvel does the same thing. They just don't say up front we're doing it. They're going to put out a series and then it's going to end at issue 10 and get another number 1 shortly after to get those front end sales. And so they're good marketing strategies. You got to do something to try to get people in there because they're just not naturally coming in the volume that they did 20 years ago. They're just not. People don't read.
Do it. Jeff Johns did and bring out Stargirl, and at the end of Stargirl say we're going to bring out Young Justice Society next.
Yeah.
So.
Jeff Johns is doing a lot with the new Golden Age characters, and a lot of the information on some of that stuff dropped. I noticed today, and so like Travis just mentioned, Stargirl ended and is pointing us to what was it the
Young JSA.
Young JSA.
Yeah.
Issue number 6 is where they're supposed to come back. Which that series is so far behind now. It's like issue 4 was supposed to come out in February.
For Doom Patrol?
No, for
Justice Society of America.
Yeah. 4 is coming out this upcoming week, I think.
I think
2 weeks, not this week, I think next week, I think.
Okay.
I'm really starting to think there has to be a level of intent to it, though, because all the stuff that they announced in the news that came out for the Alan Scott, Jay Garrett, and Wesley Dodge story, they said they'll be tying back into JSA.
Mm-hmm.
So those books aren't even scheduled to come out to August, October, something like that.
October, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, so they intend to keep JSA going a little longer. I wonder if they're going to make it like bi-monthly or something, just to.
Or we might get a new artist on it. Maybe it's.
I think Jannon's
Jannon is not been. Yeah, I mean he typically he could do like 1 or 2 issues in a row, but try to get him to 3 or 4 on time, and he almost never does. Which I'm not an artist, and I wish I had half the talent that neither people did, but there are just people who work at different ways. Dan Mora can do 2 monthlies a month. And other people their process takes them longer. It's not good or bad. It's just different.
23 issues a month for Night Terrors. Well, I think it is bad for the momentum of stuff, but
Yeah.
with the way that they're kind of weaving it in terms of the Golden Age character specifically, I mean, you're still getting a Stargirl book out that is loosely linking to it, especially introducing Jay Garrick's daughter, who's about to be starring in the Jay Garrick book, which I'm excited for. And as long as they get other stuff out, that they keep that coming, but it does take that momentum. I love that momentum.
Night Terrors is 23 issues, 4 Night Terrors proper, and 2 one-shots.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you pick them all up. I don't think you do have to pick them all up. I think there are individual stories with those characters.
Yeah, it's kind of liken it to the World Without a Justice League one-shots they did for Dark Crisis. All they can really do is add to the overall. Can't really take too much away from it. I was wondering about Daredevil. Last volume was 36 issues. Then they restart at issue 1 again, but still continuing story. Yeah, they did the what was that crossover story, that event where
Devil's Reign.
Devil's Reign. Yeah, they ran Daredevil, then they did Devil's Reign. They started at issue 1, but there was no start over, nothing. It was just literally they just kicked the numbering back.
And
yeah, it was just the very next issue. There's nothing different about it.
They're gonna restart it again, right? Because Zdarsky's run is ending, I think, on Daredevil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marvel's doing miniseries like Beta Ray Bill, Spider-Punk, Murder World, etc. Yeah, everyone does miniseries. But I think it's for their primary catalog, though. Really, the only ongoings we're getting are Tech, Action, Batman, and Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash. But outside of those, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Green Lantern was not. I noticed in the ad, in the house ads, it was not listed as a miniseries. It was listed as a new ongoing series.
That's good, because it was a good start.
Mhm.
I think Jeff is trying to expand as much as possible in the Golden Age. Fingers crossed for a JSA Dan Garrett crossover. Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, Jeff Jones loves the Golden Age.
He
I
has
can't
so many
imagine
more
Dan
people to
Garrett.
play. He has so many more people to play with now with all the people that he added from Stargirl.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I saw with the Alan Scott miniseries that we're going to be getting. It's going to be taking place back in the Golden Age, and it's going to be dealing with the rise of the Red Lantern, the Golden Age Red Lantern that was introduced in that new Golden Age one shot.
Yep.
It was retconned, so we're actually going to be getting a story with that character back in the day. So I'm excited for that. Alan Scott still is my favorite Green Lantern. I think that'll be cool. Travis, who's your favorite Green Lantern?
I'd have to say, just because of the Justice League animated TV show, because I haven't really read Green Lantern at all. Trying to find out, like going back and trying to figure out where to start with Green Lantern. I'm thinking I'm going to start with Jeff Johns, but I'd have to say John Stewart just because of the Justice League cartoon.
You should probably start with the one that just came out, if I'm being serious. Like that back issue reading isn't bad. That video I recorded today and put out for members, like I'd touch on it in there. Like what Johns did to Green Lantern is like how current X-Men is. Like it got to a point where there's no jump in point. Like it just was so vast with so many characters and so much of it like was needed for context and stuff that it's kind of a brilliant idea what they're doing with the current Green Lantern, just isolating him on Earth. Earth itself is quarantined because of current affairs, and that gives readers a chance to get familiar with the character. And you kind of just feed them information as we go, start giving context to the bigger universe and stuff. But we pretty much have Hal, John, and Sinestro. That's nuts and bolts Green Lantern stuff right there.
But what
Jeff
Johns with Green Lantern is kind of some ways like what Scott Snyder did with Batman, like when he invented the Court of Owls. It's one of those things where you think of it and you say to yourself, why has nobody thought of this before? And what Jeff Johns did with the whole spectrum, you had a Green Lantern and you had yellow, so how did nobody think of the rest of the color spectrum? Basically type of a thing. And so it's one of those things that's like, it's almost like it's like right in front of you, and it takes Jeff Johns or Scott Snyder to see it. Like with the Court of Owls, that's the natural predator of a bat.
Nice.
So type of a thing. So yeah, sorry, Travis, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I do plan to read the Green Lantern book, issue number 1. I wasn't planning on it, but I might as well jump into it and see if I like it or enjoy it and stuff. Because I didn't mind the Green Lantern movie, the animated movie that came out recently, part of the whole Tomorrowverse. That was pretty good, and I liked his arc, or John Stewart's arc on Justice League animated.
How John Kyle Green Lantern for guy sucks. Yeah, there's no middle ground with Guy Gardner. People love him or hate him. Yeah. They love him or hate him. No love for my guy. I got love for Guy. I got him right there. Or Freeze, baby. Yeah, somebody because I put up a post on IG and asked if you could have one power ring, which one would it be and why? And somebody said LaFreeze. I'm like, yo, that sounds like torture. It's like the equivalent of being a crackhead without your fix. Like it's like Gollum, from Lord of the Rings. Like my precious, mine. Just
man, Guy Gardner talk about a character that they didn't know what to do with for the longest time. They
give him a shitty haircut, throw him back out there.
He was a Red Lantern. He was Warrior. Remember, he was Warrior.
Warrior, yeah, the arm that transformed and stuff.
Yeah.
See, I love Alan Scott, but I don't like the whole him being gay storyline. I think they should have only kept that as the Earth 252 Alan Scott, not the original one. I can agree and disagree with that. So that Tom Taylor Earth 2 run, I've said this before, that's one of my favorite comic runs of all time. That's why this show was named At Week's End, because Earth 2 ran to its conclusion and they didn't change the story. They just changed the name on the book because Earth 2 was destroyed. They changed it to At World's End. And that's where the name of this show even comes from. But I think it worked perfectly in that, and in the day of them trying to just balance some inclusion into comics that wasn't there before. I mean, they did it with him. It seemed like a natural step to do it with the mainstream one, since we just spent years with the New 52. Alan Scott was the mainstream one, so getting rid of him, and that's actually, I think, like, for that topic, it's something you can do kind of naturally in some occasions. So this new Alan Scott story is actually going to be diving into some of that context matter with this new story, because it's going to be taking place in the golden age, and with him being a homosexual in the golden age when it wasn't something you could be openly out front with. So I guess they just feel the need to tell those stories. I mean, there's a place for those stories, but it's really how it's handled in the context of the story itself. Now, here's where it gets sketchy. I think Tim Seeley's writing it, so it's going to be a flaming turd. Like, it's going to be terrible, because I'm no Tim Seeley fan, and he's just one of those people that I don't know writers until something's really good or really bad. And there's been a handful of books I was reading, like, dude, what is this? This is just poorly written. And I look like Tim Seeley, okay. And then I find another book down the road and I read, I'm like, what is this trash? Like, then I think it was Suicide Squad King Shark was the most recent one. I was excited for that because it was dealing with the Parliament and the Red, Travis. It was a big tournament to see who the champion of the Red was going to be. I'm like, dude, I'm all in for this. Bawana Beast was in it as like the announcer for the fights. And then I'm like, yo, this book is terrible. I can't read any farther. And it broke my heart.
Tim Sheridan's even worse.
Tim Sheridan is.
Did you, Travis?
Tim Seeley.
He did the last Teen Titans run, right? It was
the disappointing.
It was terrible. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Alan Scott books are coming home with me regardless, but hope for the best, expect the worst. Orange is the best lantern. There we go. We got another one. So yeah, I mean, look how Tom Taylor's handled John Kent. Like, there's a difference between it being a character's identity and being what the story is about, if that makes sense. Like, there's no reason.
I wanted to cheat and say I would be the White Lantern because that's all of them.
Yeah, and because you did say that cheat thing in that video that I did, I actually mentioned that and excluded the Black Lanterns and the White Lanterns and gave a good reason why. Guy was amazing as Red Lantern. Yeah, he was. He definitely was. I like him connecting with his son due to them both being gay. Yeah, with Obsidian. Yeah, that was a cool story when they kind of did that was the Infinite Frontier one shot before it came in where, Tim Sheridan is. Hey, I love Tim Seeley. Tom Seeley.
He actually did a pretty good Nightwing, Tim Seeley.
Seeley is microwave garbage. Yeah, he's just not good. Honestly, I don't like that because he erased his character development of not liking that his son was gay, then growing to loving, accepting that his son was gay. That's fair. That's super fair. And then, like, it's going to be weird, like, treading on the past because, this was like a notoriously single character, right? For like he had like a passerby's kind of girlfriend, but he's never been married or stuff like that. So there's a lot with the character's history that, if handled correctly, which I have no faith that Sheridan can do it. Now, if you had Williamson on it, Mark Waid on it, Jeff Johns on it, somebody that has that very intimate knowledge with these characters, with these stories, they would know how to weave that to make it work without crapping on the character. But I don't see Sheridan doing that. I'm not saying he wouldn't try. I don't think he's up for the assignment.
Alan Scott actually did get married.
Did he?
He married his archfoe, the Harlequin.
Oh man. I didn't think they got married because that's Jade and Obsidian's mom, right?
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think they got married. I'm going to give Sheridan another chance, but Teen Titans Academy was awful. A lot of those new characters and Red X were editorial mandates, I believe, though. Yeah, the Red X thing was so promising from the start. Now, I did like, what's that character's name? Stitch, that was like an animated piece of Dr. Fate's, like, house. Like that was pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of love for the Lantern Corps. Every comic writer named Tim sucks. Taylor just throwing the blanket out there, casting a wide net there, Taylor.
There you go.
I don't think you're missing either. That's spot on. I can't wait to read my Red Lantern run. Just missing a few issues. Nice. Molly Maid, no. Harlequin, yep. I agree. I can't agree, Esteban. I just don't have any of the past knowledge of Alan Scott, but honestly, I think they did it with taste. Yeah, currently so far, but are they trying to just like? I think like if they're just trying to like twist the story to be able to throw them out there for Pride Month, I think that's just abusing characters. It's kind of what was that book that just came out this past week? That new Asian character with the giant sword.
Spirit World.
Spirit World.
Stay with me. Who else came out this past week? City Boy. Stay with me. Who else came out this past week? The Vigil. All three of those perfectly timed for what is it? Asian Pacific AAPI Islanders.
American, Asian, and Pacific Islander.
Those were all perfectly timed for that, making me feel like this company is just pulling it a little, seems sketchy. The timing seems sketchy. Seems real sketchy. It makes me think they were just mandates, like that says. Now the Vigil has my attention.
Excuse me.
Boy, and what was the other one? Spirit World.
Spirit World was really good. You should read it.
Yeah. Spirit World is the only one that's actually come out. The Vigil and City Boy come out later this month.
No, I think one of them's just coming. I just keep seeing the ads for them all. Vigil is this coming week because I remember that one I talked about on the list of books coming. That Brave and the Bold and one more is on the list of maybe I will, maybe I won't pick them up kind of thing. Here we go. Let's see what that's going to say. Funny thing is that I'm a gay man with the controversial opinions that leftists find me at odds with. That's called having your own agency and thinking for yourself, Esteban. There's nothing wrong with that. Spirit World was god awful. Taylor Winder with a hot take. Y'all want to touch on that?
Wrong take.
Shocker. Just kidding, Taylor. Me and Taylor actually agree on everything. We never disagree. Spirit World showed promise. So we have one of all three. Travis, you want to go and tell people about Spirit World? Because I didn't pick it up. I picked it up, but I gave it away.
I'll let Paul kick this one off.
It basically picks up from a story that started in Lazarus Planet, one of the Lazarus Planet one-shots. And it basically stars a person who is called Spirit World because this person can basically move from the living world to the world of spirits. And that's why it's called Spirit World. And when last we left them, Cassandra Cain had been trapped in the spirit world. Go ahead, Travis. You pick it up from here.
Yeah, I love it. Did start kind of different too. Like you get like the narration from this character. I can't pronounce his name, and I feel like they didn't even address that it was a male or female either. I think they left that open to interpretation. And it's just him or her narrating, and that wall, like you see a kid like fall, like literally swimming away to their death, and he ends up saving them. I really love the art in this. I really love the story and how different it was, because you get to see this world that you'd never really seen in the DC, like a little bit of it, but like this whole new side of it. And as you have Cassandra Cain stuck into the spirit world, again, another Asian character, you see what kind of, like, you see these just normal characters walking, and then you see them as like, do you smell that? And then all of a sudden their heads just stretch up and they start going after Cassandra Cain. It's like, oh, it's living. Let me eat on your flesh. And she gets picked up by this couple, or not this couple, but this kid in the spirit world saves them. Saves Batgirl, says, come with me. And then comes into this old maid's place, and yeah, we get a little bit of that, but then we go back to the spirit world because he can jump between the spirit world and the real world. He ends up meeting with Constantine. Constantine is in this book as well, of course, dealing with the spirit world and that. And he's watching a house. So he comes to him to aid, help, say like Batgirl is stuck in this world and we need to get her out.
So what's the plot? What are they going to the spirit world? What are they trying to do? What are they trying to accomplish?
They're trying to get Cassandra Cain back.
Didn't she get sucked in there at the graveyard in Lazarus Planet?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'm remembering now. Constantine came up because the spirit world person. Who's the main character in this? What's the person with the sword's name?
I can't pronounce his name.
Swordmaster 5000 sold Constantine some bad juju when Constantine popped up in Lazarus Planet, and that's where that's what I remember. There's a big sword fight.
Right.
Ooh, this also made the cardinal sin of mystifying John Constantine impossible. Oh, Constantine.
His name is Xanth.
Oh, it is Xanth. I remember that. Oh, that was the Lazarus Planet Dark Fate book.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Xanth.
Yeah.
And I was looking at that ahead of time with.
I think it's real cool how it, like the spirit sword and that it comes out like that. So I really enjoy that aspect of it as well. A really fun issue, in my opinion. Get to jump between the supernatural and like having Batgirl there is kind of interesting too. I don't know a lot about this Batgirl, Cassandra Cain, that much, but it's. I guess I'll get to know her as we go.
She was mute for the longest time. I don't believe she is anymore, but for the longest time when she first became Batgirl, she was actually mute. And at the end of the story, Xanth, or Xantha, or however you say it, and her mother, or his mother, are reunited at the end.
That's right.
Was the mom in the spirit world?
No, in Living World, because the character is in the real world at the time, and just before they go, his or her mother came and said Xanth, and then it was shocking revelation for that character. It's like, I thought you were dead.
It's Crypto.
It's Crypto.
Crypto with the red eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the super reflective eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The kids are tormenting him, poor guy. Like, they have their pajamas on, so they're like able to slide around on the hardwood, and they're like they're sliding around to the dog, and it freaks the dog out. So the dog backs up, then they back up, then the dog comes out of it, and then it just becomes a whole thing. It's a thing.
It is a thing.
But then they just escalate. They're supposed to be in bed at this point. It's way past their bedtime. But so y'all want to touch on some Green Lantern, because we kind of started on that. I think it's important that we convince Travis to buy this book.
Yes, I was very disappointed last night when he said he wasn't reading Green Lantern.
Oh, I said I would read it. I just haven't yet.
So I am curious. Do either of y'all have like pool list caps? Like, do you try to cap your pool list at a certain part just because for financial reasons, for time of the week to even read the book's reason? Because I mean, no matter what, there's a limit. Like that you can buy too many books that you can't even get to them. If your goal is to buy them to read them, and then like try to stay up to date on books, and I kind of hit that point right now with like where it's kind of the time of the day. I don't have enough of it to really get through everything to stay up to date, and I hate falling behind on books.
I do as well. I think I actually have two things. I go to my local comic shop, but then I also do some mail away where I get a discount, and the more titles I order, the greater the discount. And what I do is I limit my pull at my LCS to how many I think I can read. Because if I'm not going to read them, then I might as well just get them when they, at the end of the month and get my discount, get a huge discount for them instead. So,
we get like 35% off on those, something like that.
I can get 30 to 35% depending on how many titles I have. I'm pulling at the time. So
that's a huge discount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Travis, how do you manage your pull list?
I just get the stuff that I want, and then if it's if it's good, I don't know. Like I dropped a few. Like I did have City Boy on my list, but then I dropped it, and then as well as Night Terror's Batman and Night Terror's Ravager. I was going to pick those up, but I was like, yeah, no, I might. I think I'm just going to drop those. But other than that, I've been picking up quite a bit. But I try to keep it as low as possible for financial issues. So, but
yeah, I think I dropped like in the last month. I think I dropped 8 titles and gained them right back. I dropped them just like I swapped them out basically. You know what I mean? Because I mean I'm at a point like I don't think I can add any more because I was showing y'all that stack before we went live. Like that's about as much. That was me catching up with a few books from last week too. But yeah, so I was just wondering why this wasn't in your stack already. Is why I wanted to ask that question.
oh, just because I wasn't going to pick it up or read it because like I said, don't know that much about Green Lantern and wasn't a character that I was reading or wanting to read about. It's just like certain characters from DC I'm not picking up for reading.
That's fair. When did you jump in on Flash? The 1 Minute War?
I'm still not. Yeah, I'm still not even caught up on that. Like I still got to go back and read it.
This is the house ad that says new ongoing series.
Oh yeah, it sure does. Boom. So this one's not even a mini.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know how a lot of people jumped on that Jeremy Adams run around the time of the 1 Minute War because the word of mouth on that thing it was steady. It was just a steady uphill trend. I mean, it didn't just explode out there, but people were like, yo, this is pretty good. And like, yo, this is still pretty good. It hasn't dropped yet. Yo, this just got better. Yo, this is something special. Check this out. And then the 1 Minute War hit. And then they're like, yeah, he's wrapping up his run. Like, what?
And that's really the best way to do it. I mean, you and I have talked about that. It's the same thing when you're trying to grow subscriptions on your YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. If you suddenly get 1,000 people that subscribe to you, probably tomorrow 750 of them are going to leave. They joined you for a reason, right? You know, and the same thing if you have this. I mean, yeah, you can get really hot, you know, and everybody subscribes to your magazine and everything. I mean, buys your comic. And then suddenly, you know, 6 issues later, when you do it a different story, nobody's reading it anymore. You know, the way Jeremy Adams seemed to build to me, you know, it was growing organically where, you know, there was good word of mouth. People were telling other people to go read it. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to kill the Flash. And there's like, you know, and everybody bought that issue and he sold like, you know, 10,000, you know, 100,000 issues. And then the next issue, people only 1,000 people bought it.
And right. He did kill him. Yeah, he did kill him. He didn't make a big to-do of it. He just did it. Hey, if you're reading this, Flash just died.
Mm-hmm.
A couple times. He gets better. So real quick, what do y'all think about Wonder Woman's daughter? We have 2 Trinities now after this new Swamp Thing run. I don't really think much of it. It's set in the future. This isn't the first time that we've got a Wonder Woman daughter. Frank Miller brought us Wonder Woman's daughter with Superman, Lara, who was super cool. That was the John, and I also had a John Kent before John Kent. We'll see. It's just for the landmark issue, right? It's just one of the stories in there. I don't know. I mean, I'll be picking it up. I'll be reading it just because I'm planning on picking up the Wonder Woman ongoing after that point when Tom King takes it over. So I'll be starting with that next issue of Wonder Woman. I guess I should I think I did add it to my pool. I need to make sure it's on my pool. Otherwise, scalpers, flippers, and speculators will be coming for that first appearance of Wonder Woman's daughter book. I'm excited for Wonder Woman's daughter. Yeah, should be a fun story. I was shocked. I got it. BTC shipping for Bizarro cover day after they dropped it. They just made the label, man. That book doesn't release till Tuesday. Yeah. They can't ship it out yet. Yeah, that's And I see where you post like people can make a label whenever they want to make a label and slap it on the thing and have everything prepped and ready, and they can pack up books and all this, but they can't actually put them into the system and send them out till certain street dates. But yeah, that Bizarro Superman cover was awesome. The purple foil. Hope she has a father. What about you? Wonder Woman doesn't. Yeah, just made out of clay for a while there.
Yeah, but now she's not anymore.
Mm-hmm. I'm always excited to try any new character under one of the titles I read. And Wonder Woman, I love. Could be Bruce. Yeah, what if they go down that Snyderverse route? Or what was, yeah, it was the Snyderverse where they were like teasing the Bruce Wayne Wonder Woman affection stuff. I love that, honestly.
And the New 52 is Wonder Woman and Superman.
Yeah. Got a bunch of people down for it. Don't know how many titles on my pool, but I do pick about 150 modern comics a month. That's a lot. Yeah, Laura Kent. Yeah, a lot of people that watch this think my daughter's actual name is Monkey. Monkey. It's actually Laura, spelled just like that. She goes by Monkey. You can name them whatever you want. They're going to end up getting called something along the way.
Right.
Yeah, Laura. Jeremy Adams Flash had to grow on me. I really, really, really like Josh Whedon's Flash. Yeah, everyone did. Or Josh Williamson's Flash. Yeah, that's where we got Godspeed and all that. I didn't care for the artwork in it toward the beginning, to be honest with you. That's why I'm torn with the comic book industry, because the political message does ruin the comic books. And I still want to enjoy Marvel and DC because I wouldn't be the same person without them. Yo, 100%. But here's the good thing. Like, I can't speak to everyone's experience, but with my experience, more often than not, like, there's always those heavy-handed political books. But more often than not, I don't naturally pull those titles. Like, I know from doing the deep dive with Paul, we've fallen onto a couple of them along the way, like when we're covering the events. Because for those that don't know, we do a DC deep dive that comes out every Monday on Sector 2815's channel. We've already recorded the one for tomorrow. We'll be highlighting the second part of the Dawn of DC stuff that we're covering. But him and I have stumbled over some of those heavy-handed books that we wouldn't have picked up if it wasn't part of an event, or like the Young Justice Dark Crisis book, Worlds Without a Justice League, Wonder Woman, the finale to Revenge of the Gods, like, and naming all of that. Like, those are two massive events and then a 6-issue miniseries, and we've run into like 3 books. They're there, but the ratio isn't what people really think it is. And like this stack, there's not one single one in this stack. Like, they can be heavy-handed. It's just on the quality of the writer. It's really all it is. I hate YouTube's character limits. Ugh. Does anybody remember the far future story that Superman and Wonder Woman had a son? He was an awesome-looking character that never appeared again. Paul?
I don't. I know
Frank
way
Miller
back
did.
in like the 50s and the 60s, they had the children of Lois Lane and Superman. So it's not the first time that, you know, they supposedly had children, but
Did it do anything with the 10 million, what is it called? The Elseworld stuff, the 10 million whatever? You know what I'm talking about? 1 million or something? There's
that's where like the Hour Man that we saw that showed up in Stargirl. That's where he
yeah, but
came
I'm saying,
from.
did they, because like I told you, I was going back revisiting some of that. I haven't really ever did anything more than flip through them as a kid, you know what I mean? And that's where you get like Superman Prime, where he like flies into the sun and lives there for like 10,000 years. Did they do anything in that?
No,
Yeah,
they've done very, very little with that. This is the first time that I can remember them even referencing that. I'm sure they probably have, but this is the first time that I've seen one of those characters show up again. Was in Stargirl.
Well, yeah, that's fair too. The whole heavy-handed stuff from all eras. Brother John, God, who was that writer that he brought the book from? The New Guardians.
Oh, the cocaine vampire.
Yeah, but the writer of the New Guardians was like, he was like woke before woke was woke. You know what I mean? And just
Steve Englehart.
Yeah, dude, that's been like his kind of mentality and worldview that's from the 80s even. That's 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just you gotta find the books you like. There's enough out there that it's not hard to do. It's not hard to do for anybody to find the ones you like. Revenge of the Gods finale was a letdown. Very idealistic. Wonder Woman isn't my jam. Yeah, it came out of nowhere too. When Hippolyta showed up and told the wizard he was less than just because he was a man, and Mary doesn't need no secondhand powers, and then proceeds to give Mary secondhand powers of her own. I'm like, come on, man. Like, if you would have skipped the plot hole, it would have been a little bit better. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of any political stuff in comics lately. I don't follow politics, so maybe I see more of the woke push version political. I don't know. Yeah, everyone's experience is going to differ. We all pull different books. Dark Knight Returns 2. Yeah, that's the one where you get Lara for the first time. 1 million issue future stories. Yeah, Hunter Prince was not from 1 million. Hunter Prince, is that who it is? Hunter Prince. We don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out, John. Hunter Prince. Is that who they were talking about? Maybe. I need to do a video, or like do a little research and look at all of Wonder Woman's illegitimate kids running around everywhere.
Yeah, the final battle between Hera and Diana was kind of anticlimactic too.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. There's a creative team of the New Guardians. His hero name was Hunter Prince, and he's appeared in Justice League 26 from Brian Hitch's run. I had to go Google him. Brother John is right. Brother John is right is a phrase that is said a lot when you're talking comic books. Man knows his stuff.
Yep, definitely.
She had a child in Wonder Woman Dead Earth. I don't remember her having a kid in Wonder Woman Dead Earth. She had a tag-along.
Yeah,
she had that little human kid from the surviving gang of people that was reminding her to hope again kind of thing. I remember that. But I don't remember her having an actual biological kid. I don't know. Anyways, Green Lantern. Travis, you need to read this book. It's fantastic. It's a great jump on point. And the whole premise of this thing is Sector 2814, our sector, Earth, right here. Paul's neighbor, us, is quarantined. So what they've done is they've taken that vast Green Lantern cosmos of limitless stuff to try to catch up on and brought it down right here. Inside the quarantined Earth, quarantined for lanterns, not for other people, just for them. You have Hal Jordan, John Stewart, your guy, and street level Sinestro. Shout out to Flash by Night Comics. And so they're kind of just catching you up, taking you from a small, tight-knit story of some of the more key factors of Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, and building from there. With the John Stewart backup story, they are touching a little bit more on a little bit of the stuff that's been going on the past 2 years, which isn't much to begin with. It was like one miniseries and a one-shot. That's it. So it's a great jump on point and to really dip your toes in there. And again, Jeremy Adams, Philip Kennedy Johnson. Those are two of the writers that if you see their name, you probably should check out the book. Guaranteed to be worth your time. Paul, do you have anything you want to tell them?
No, other than it's been far too long for for Hal Jordan to be front and center, and so there are just certain things that don't seem right in the DC universe if certain things aren't happening, and having Hal Jordan front and center as a Green Lantern in his own comic book is one of them.
Yeah, kind of getting back to that status quo. The Green Lantern Corps is anything but status quo right now in comics, so they got their work cut out for them. Well, when Green Lantern returning is all well and good. Unfortunately, with anything starting, something's got to end. Travis, how do you feel? Are you hurting?
I enjoyed it. I felt like it went too quick, in my opinion, this issue. But then going back and looking over it again, it was a fantastic issue, and that a lot of stuff happened in this issue. A lot of action, great art from Todd Knock.
Yeah, dude, the 2-page splashes too, right? We got a handful of them.
It was fantastic, but it starts off with Stargirl explaining some history on the android Hour Man, which I I really liked, because like for a character that I don't know a lot about, giving a little bit of a backstory. That's why I like Jeff Johns in that he gives explanation to some of these characters in that. And so we get a little bit of backstory of Our Man very, very quick. Then it gets right into the action. We find out that the reason why Childminder is doing this is they want to be young again. They want their youth back, and they were promised their youth, which was really, really different. We get the face reveal of the character too, which was like some bird type of woman. I don't know what's
from
going
It's
on.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
So, and then
there's some cool levels to it, right? Because you have the child monitor that we found out that was working for somebody else, and then they plot twisted us and gave us the android Our Man, who we find out is actually corrupted and reprogrammed by a questionable character, and we get a big reveal for the actual big bad in this issue too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was actually very, very shocking. And then another reveal of a certain character that actually didn't get sent back there, came there to do a job, and that Corky and what's the animal's name?
Oh, the raccoon.
Yeah, Corky, Crockett.
Well, ironically, he's had on his head the whole time. Just
yeah,
it was pretty cool.
It was
the future version of Corky is running through the timeline, pulling all these schemes and everything, and it was cool getting to see Corky, who's been like this lighthearted, kind of playful character, get hit in the face with the realization of what his future looks like, and having to deal with that. That was a pretty heavy moment there. And
then we have to reveal like why he was sent back. Like he was sent back to send Wing back. Wing was the only character that he really cared about sending back to a certain time, a period in time, because he was supposed to stop this big evil.
Yeah, so he's one of the Time Masters, Rip Hunter and the Time Masters. He's just wearing a little Davy Crockett hat. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the little tease at the end. We didn't lose any characters. I thought that was a big deal. Like we did lose one. We lost one, and it was one that was destined to be lost anyways. And it was really cool how they played it out, because Courtney saved him. Courtney was refusing to let him go, and he was able to make the call all on his own. You know, he was it was dynamite, right?
Yeah, and there were multiple 2-page splash pages that were just incredible as well. So the art was done really well.
I really like the one where they're reaching out for Wing. Like we don't leave anybody behind in that, and it was like all of them coming together and trying to save him. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the moment I was talking about where they saved him, and he made the call. He's like, you gotta let me go. You gotta let me do this. We
see Jay Garrick. We don't actually. It happens off panel, but we see Jay Garrick meet his daughter for the first time. That's supposed to play heavily into the Jay Garrick series that's going to be coming out later on.
Which it's confirmed to be set in modern time continuity as well. Where the Alan Scott story is supposed to be in the past, the Jay Garrick one will be in modern time.
Right. And they promise. I think we mentioned it before, but they promise that this group will be the Young Justice Society, and it will reappear in Justice Society number 6, and maybe
the third team
after that. Who knows?
Yeah, 5 years from now, issue 6.
Yeah,
the third team that Stargirl is going to be part of, and I'm guessing she'll be leading it as well.
I hope so. She needs to be. Courtney's just a leader, like her character as a whole. Like she's just, I don't know, it just seems like a natural place for her. Slut shaming here.
He's got to go back to his kennel.
What do you do? Tear up another pillow?
No, he's on the ground again.
Oh, you're in trouble. Is it because it's raining outside?
No, he was out there running around with the kids.
Was he?
Yeah.
I missed that part. Why didn't they bring back Infinity Inc.? I guess they kind of are in a way. But, I mean, those characters are kind of doing their own thing. Like Jade, Obsidian, people are off, grown, change costumes, change names. Yeah. I don't know. New team, new name, new characters, new issue ones, new draws. I did read the finale to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers: The Teenage Mutant Turtles Volume 2, Issue 5. It's again, this is just a fan service book. If you like Turtles or Power Rangers, it's definitely worth the time of day. The big villain in this one was Krang teaming up with Rita. So you had like the big Krang took over the Megazord, and then Shredder was in the Dragon Zord. And just a bunch of crossover fan service stuff like that. Big fight, and it ended with Shredder was teaming up with the Rangers and the Turtles in this one to stop Krang and eat Rita. But by the end of it, Shredder is hanging out on the moon, teaming up with Zed, and get a big cliffhanger, like with the end question mark kind of thing. That one wrapped up as well. Another one that wrapped up, Joe Fixit, issue number 5. This was a fun big fight. Kingpin was trying to move in on Vegas, take some territory, bring some of the Spider-Man's rogues with him, gassed the Hulk at one point and kind of put him in a rage. Spider-Man was there the whole time, got him out of it, and you get a cool fight with Spider-Man and Joe Fixit versus some of Spider-Man's rogues and some other goofy villains that showed up at the end out of nowhere. But this is actually really fun. It was well drawn. Peter David lands another one of these retro titles. So that one wrapping up is kind of sad. But next week, Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, who is it? Howard Mackey's writing that one. So I've added that one to my list. I've really been enjoying these Marvel throwback books. They take place, little mini-series in between the pages of previous runs of comics. Most of the time they've been from the 90s. So definitely fun, quick little mini-series in and out. So I enjoy that weird-ass Punchline book. I'll hop back into Catwoman after this month, but that is weird. It's Harley Quinn all over again. Evil. Not excited for Punchline being a hero at all. Love her as a villain. Yo, I'm not excited about Punchline. You can put a period right there. And that's another character I just have no time for, don't care about. I think it's weird that they let Harley be a hero for a little while during the Tinian run, putting her in the Bat family. And I don't think it's so weird for Harley as much as what does that say about the Bat family?
Right.
She's a mass murderer.
Mm-hmm.
The only team she belongs on is the Suicide Squad. That is it. That is it.
Agreed.
What else you got, Paul? Yo, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Superman Lost, issue number 3 from Christopher Priest. 10-issue maxi series, standalone. So if you're not wanting to pick up other Superman books or try to dive deep into the mainstream continuity, this is definitely worth picking up. 10 issues. That's it. In and out.
Mm-hmm.
So, premise, Superman went into a black hole. He was back in moments for everyone, but it was 20 years for him. This book is highlighting that cosmic odyssey of trying to get home from the farthest opposite end of space and the wild adventures he gets into on the way. As you can see, he's rocking a white suit with a gold S on the cover. That's a suit that was given to him as a survival package from his first planet that he crosses in issue 2. It helps to hold and absorb the solar rays being so far away from stars. What do you think of this issue, Paul?
I liked it. We got, for those of you who are fans of Lobo and the Space Dolphins, we got to see those again. They're all over the place.
Literally, that's a black hole joke, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they don't just travel fast through space; they travel through an interconnected network of black holes. They're all over the place.
Right. We find that Victor, besides giving him the suit, also gave him this other thing that can actually answer questions for him, which he ends up actually destroying at the end of the issue. And so he's basically just floating in space all by himself. It appears as though it would take him many months to go back to what was Kansas, or where Victor was, and it will take him even longer to go to Earth. So he decides that he needs to try to ride with the dolphins. So he kind of hangs onto their fins because they seem to be able to travel at a much faster speed than he's able to. So, but in the end, they're gone. He's just kind of left there. The last page just has him floating in space all by his little lonesome. So we'll see where he goes from here.
Yeah, it was cool getting the space dolphins. It was also a cool concept that he didn't stumble upon them. They actually were seeking him out. They can find him pretty easily, and they needed him because some of their little compadres were caught up in this defense mechanism of this other planet that was teeming with life of microorganisms. That, if you look at the cover there, that is a construct of a bunch of microorganisms, defense mechanisms that he was communicating with. The dolphins use them for food, and like it was showing the higher intelligence of smaller life forms versus the bigger ones, a little context to perception and everything, and it was really cool. And we also kind of get to learn that he's already been in space for 3 years trying to travel. 3 years of his time has already went by in the first 3 issues of this. Now, we do get a little bit of dual timeline with this, seeing Superman's time traveling through space as well as what's going on Earth, because in that first issue, he goes in that black hole and immediately comes back completely traumatized, PTSD to the gills. And in this issue, we really don't see him in the regular timeline. We kind of just see like the wreckage of him, like in his home, because Clark's like a clean, well put together person and everything. And you kind of see Lois struggling, working with the story and having to clean up after him for the brief time that we see in this, in the modern time in it. But I'm big interested to see what's next for it. It's kind of left you with that hopeless feeling, which is definitely uncomfortable when you're dealing with the character of Superman. He's out in the middle of space. He actually got frustrated, like Paul said, and destroyed that little AI box that he was working with that was giving him stats and details on distances and speed and everything. You just seeing him getting frustrated is just an uncomfortable feeling. So it's pretty cool how Christopher Priest is diving into that as well.
Absolutely. Well worth it.
Yeah, I'm also caught up on one from last week. It's another Christopher Priest book. It's Black Adam. This is issue 10 of 12, another maxi series he was doing. John Jane got the actual A cover for the direct on these now, which is fantastic. But Kandak Under Siege, Black Adam's pretty much made enemies of everyone that he's kind of coming across in this. So it's getting pretty bad. The pantheon of gods that are now attached to him that he kind of created in his own are kind of making a play for Earth. War's trying to do what it can to kind of take over, and Black Adam's kind of useless right now. Malik, Thunderbolt, White Adam, whatever you want to call him, he's at odds with Black Adam. He doesn't want the power, and they kind of revealed that infection, that cosmic infection that they got, the only way that they're really cured from it is by sharing the power and staying transformed kind of thing, that if he would relinquish the power, it would overtake him and kill him. So we got that little reveal in here as well. So it's got 2 issues left. We'll see what they do with that one. But if you're kind of curious to like Black Adam's kind of mythology and stuff, they're kind of doing like a modern retelling and take on it with this series, so it's worth checking out. See what he pulls next. Danger Street. Yo, where's Taylor Winder now? This was fire. This is a damn good book.
And it's written in such a way that it's written in a way that you probably have never read a comic or in a long time. It's written like an old fantasy type Robin Hood type book.
Yeah, we're being narrated the story by Dr. Fate's helmet, who's sitting on top of a bar and is telling the story as a parable. Like it's referring to our title characters as knights, demons, dragons, princesses, when in reality they're just regular everyday people, heroes and villains. It's pretty dope. And this one we get
Travis is back.
You just go jogging?
No. Why?
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Danger Street was fantastic. Like you said, it's telling a story of just different characters that intertwine together, but without even intertwining. Like they're telling different stories, and now everything's coming together. At the end of this issue, everything's coming closer and closer, as it has been doing throughout the series. Like things have been getting closer and closer to tying in with each other, but now it's even more so at the end of this issue.
Yeah, we see the green team is pretty much all taken out except for one of them. Manhunter systematically going after him. One did get away from him, but that one's cut off from the rest of his teammates. Warlord's been picked up by Lady Cop and in the hospital handcuffed, but obviously he could walk out of there wherever he wants. Orion had to check back in with High Father as well as Darkseid and said it slipped away, but maybe I can go back. And this is probably the most interesting part of this book to me. It all started with the death of Atlas and one of the members of the Dingbat teams. The death of Atlas is more important than anybody at all knows. It's got the entire pantheon of new gods frightened to death. Atlas is dead. The sky is falling, and they're taking extreme measures and even working together to try to rectify this. The fact that they're doing that, but everybody on Earth is completely ignorant to what is happening in that terms, and we see the length that Highfather went to in this. They couldn't get Atlas's body back, so Highfather and Darkseid had a failsafe for something like this happen, and they pretty much channeled the energy from Apocalypse across to New Genesis directly into Highfather, making him a temporary stand-in for Atlas, and getting that panel where he's just standing there screaming with that energy shooting up into the sky, where he is now holding up the sky. That was like, dude, how important was Atlas's job? What is going to happen if the sky falls? What is it they're trying to stop from happening? Exactly. It's pretty wild. We really get the stakes in this one of what's happening, that Lady Cop, the Dingbats, the Green Team, everything that seems so important to them means nothing if they can't keep the sky from falling. I'm like, this just got serious on another level here.
Mm-hmm. They also introduced the final group from the DC first issue special, The Outsiders.
They look creepy as hell too.
Yep.
Another bird lady.
Mm-hmm. So that was the only group from the original run that we hadn't seen yet in any of these issues. So
I'm pretty upset that Metamorpho has not come back yet, though.
Yeah, I think he's there, though. I think they were teasing him in that previous issue when people were getting knocked out by the gas, the mysterious gas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Darkseid's cereal would have anti-sugar? It does say total sugar is 12 grams. Yeah, 12 grams. It is now with omega-3, though.
That's right.
Now has omega-3. Yeah, the real Outsiders. Yeah. I think it's funny how the one member of the Green Team went when he was busted and broke and cut off from the team and being hunted by Manhunter. He went straight to the Outsiders, and that's apparently the people that he duped, stole their money, and got into a position of power to join the Green Team from. And now he's out there trying to destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
And what have they done? Like, we don't even know what they do. What do they do to warrant this kind of hate from the Green Team?
Well, yeah, maybe that'll be explained more in the next issue, because it's never been explained at all. They just started like putting everything on them, saying they've done this, they did this, and maybe it's because that they're monsters and everybody will believe them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're the ones that are doing all this bad shit, and they're putting it onto the Outsiders, saying, "Oh, it's all them."
Yeah, I'm with Mike here. There's definitely something about Atlas's body, clearly, because they sent Orion to go fetch it, and he really wants it. And then they made sure that we know where it's at still. So yeah, it's been solid.
And Darkseid was ticked off at him for not returning with it. Like, yeah, it's like, I failed you in that. It's just like, your failure will be dealt with in death or something like that. And I was like, what?
Hey, chill. We got another plan. Probably gonna die doing it, but we got to do something or everybody dies. Yeah, it's a great book. Mm-hmm. Definitely digging it. Either y'all reading Ghost Rider? Okay, fine, whatever. This series is fantastic. This is issue number 14, Benjamin Percy. We kind of get more of the story behind Danny Ketch and why he's got this Weapon X helmet, why he's being used like a remote control for this underground think tank that looks like it's being funded by the U.S. military, kind of working in like the supernatural horror story angle of stuff. You know, if the government's going to dip its fingers in anything. And the person running the program, it looks like she lost a family member to a demon when she was young. It was her little brother. Now she's wanting to siphon the power from Danny Ketch. He's there voluntarily, you know, sitting in chairs or activating the spirit in him, and they're pulling the hellfire out of him little pieces at a time. They also have to rid him of this, he has to go do missions for him, kind of thing. But they slap the Weapon X helmet on him. They kind of control him with it. And we find out why she's wanting to do that. She's siphoning it out. And by the end of it, Ghost Rider and Talia Warroad catch up to this facility and they're going to shut it down. And the scientist runs and jumps in this Avatar amp suit. It literally looks like just like the suit you see at the end of Avatar, but she's able to take that hellfire she's been getting out of Danny Ketch and apply it to her suit. Then she opens a gateway to hell because she's going to get her brother back. I'm like, yo, that's determination right there. I need a sibling like that. But it's super good. It's really good. It's in my top 5 Marvel books. And when I say top 5, I think I'm only pulling 3. So it's up there.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm pulling more than that. Doesn't seem like it. No, crickets.
Mine was damaged.
Crickets. Travis, this is the one, my man. This was the final issue. Issue 5 of Nemesis Reloaded. So we get the big reveal to what his plan was the whole time, why his plan was. We pretty much know it. He's on a revenge mission about what happened to his parents who were killed. His parents were drug dealing pieces of crap murderers, and he was a kid when the cops came for him, and they got arrested and they got lethal injection. So now he's waging a war on the city that took his parents from him. He doesn't care that they were bad guys. He doesn't care that they were drug dealers. They were his parents. And along his journey from being an orphan to where he is now, he came across a secret society of people that trained him and take his determination and steered it and packaged it into what is Nemesis. We also get the big reveal in this issue. You don't care about spoilers, do you, Paul?
Nope.
Travis? Got the reveal in this issue that the mayor, who's one of the ex-police officers that took down his parents, they were kind of like the up and coming through the academy onto the force. They were doing really good. They were doing great, but there's just one thing they couldn't solve. It was the death of all these hitchhikers. It's the murders there. So they pinned them on these drug dealers who they couldn't catch either. So they took 2 cases they couldn't shut down and framed them together. And that's why Nemesis is after him, because his parents weren't murderers. Turns out they were just good old-fashioned run-of-the-mill piece of crap meth dealers. And there is a big twist at the end of it as well. And there's a huge reveal that this is not the end of Nemesis. Mark Millar is really expanding this world, this catalog that he has going on at Image. So if you've been checking out any of his stuff over there, be sure to check out all of his stuff over there, because I think he's got 2 books right now. He's got Nemesis, and what's the magic one?
Magic Order.
Magic Order.
He also has the Ambassadors.
So he's got 3. What he's doing is he's crafting his own little, they're all connected. Apparently they all exist in the same world. So he's finding a good story arc here that's going to crisscross a lot of these characters. He's working on his own little event thing in his Millar World continuity. I never read Nemesis. So this is technically the 2nd volume. Nemesis was like a 4 or 5 issue miniseries that came out years ago. And this is not a follow-up to it. It's a complete retelling. In the beginning of the 1st issue, there's a note from the writer in there that says, we reflect on our projects. Nemesis has been the most profitable project that he's ever worked on, despite having numerous projects adapted into movies and stuff. Nemesis keeps getting bought for movie rights over and over. Someone will buy it, not do anything with it, and the next person will buy it. And he says it really resonates with people if they see something in it. And it always makes you think as a writer, when you look at your project, well, if I wrote it today and not 10 years ago, what would I do differently with it? And that's what this is. This is, if he never wrote Nemesis until this year, never wrote it before, this is what it would look like. And issue 1 starts with, everything you think about me is a lie. This is my true story. And then the book starts. So it's pretty cool. So even you don't have to read the one from 10, 15 years ago. Just grab this one and take off. 5 issues, 5 great issues. Jorge Jimenez does the art in it. And this is his best work, hands down. Like, you think he's good in Batman? No. This right here, the pacing, the momentum of the storytelling in this was just made for his art. Nope, I was mad Jorge went to that book and stopped drawing my Batman. Yeah, I'd prefer him in this book. The Magic Order. Nightclub is there too. I did not know about Nightclub. I got Ambassadors on my pull-ish. 4 just came out. Waiting for the 6th and gonna binge. Oh, I didn't know it was a reboot. I thought it was a continuation. Nope. Wanted to read Ambassadors, but my shop didn't get 1 and 2. Nightclub has been dope. See, I didn't even know about Nightclub. Never even heard of it. Wait a month and the trade paperback will be out. Yeah, I definitely plan on following Nemesis where he goes from here. I know Junkyard Joe was one that Travis. Do you read that? I know Paul's. You said Urge Carrying Damage, right?
Yep.
It was fantastic. We'll touch on that next week.
Okay.
Shazam. This is part of the DC deep dive as well. Do you read that one, Travis? So that one, if you want to know about that, check out Sector 2815's channel tomorrow at
10 o'clock.
10 a.m. New King Kong story came out, The Great War from, I think it's Dynamite. I guess Dynamite decided they can do a King Kong book because he's naked, right? I mean, so that's right up their alley. But it was pretty cool. It's set back like World War II. It looked like a Nazi ship crashes on the island and enter survival mode. Giant monster. So figured I'd check it out. I was pleasantly surprised with it. Every 3 pages a trailer or a commercial for it looks like a nudie comic, because that's all Dynamite knows how to do. I was blown away that they actually had a King Kong book.
With probably
Dynamite's
covers, right?
Dynamite's been coming out with some not kid friendly, but like they came out with like Scar, Gargoyles. That they're coming out with Maleficent.
Yeah, they're doing all the Disney kid stuff that IDW used to do.
Yo, isn't IDW in like financial trouble?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah. Although there's one of them.
Junkyard Joe was phenomenal for everybody.
Yeah.
Like it was damn good. Like really damn good.
They just laid off a whole bunch of people at IDW and rearranged their business operations supposedly. So
Yeah, for anybody else keeping up with the unnamed universe at Jeff Johns crafting with Geiger and Junkyard Joe, by issue 6, this is where it's all starting to come together like butt cheeks, by the way. Because we know this timeline is interconnected, and we're just getting miniseries from across that timeline in the back of the book. It's about to start doing big things from here. Love Dynamite. Yeah, IDW and AWA upshot. I didn't hear about AWA. But we just had what was the other one? Which one was publishing We Live? Aftershock?
yes.
Does anyone know the state of Aftershock at this point? I haven't heard anything really since.
I thought I seen new books that they're like planning on coming out from Aftershock, which is surprising, considering that they owed money to
Inaki and Roy Miranda. Yeah, they owe the Miranda brothers some money, and they've locked their properties. Man, their properties are locked up in that company. I mean, they didn't say like we're locking your properties up, but that's like the nature of the contracts, and they're just We Live is stuck. Like they had a Netflix deal that's stuck now because of the nature of how that stuff was written.
Esteban mentioned Valiant. That's the one that I was trying to think of. Supposedly in July, the only issue that Valiant has solicited is an XO Man of War.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Yeah. Fine. Perfect. That's all I need. Yeah, that XO book is phenomenal. 2 flawless issues out. Becky Cloonan is writing it with somebody else. I forget the other name, but Liam Sharp's artwork in it is just Starhinge good. Anyone reading No One by Image? I haven't heard of that one. What was that? Is it?
As far as I know, no one is reading it.
Did that just come out this week? I saw this book. I don't know. I feel like that might have been it. It had like a Terminator 2 Judgment Day homage cover. That might be the same one. I don't know. I'm not only dead lucky from the massive verse. Dark Horse, I think, has been in trouble, slowed all their releases. Just saw
I agree though. Like IDW, I forget who said it, like they're worried about it. I'm worried about it too. Like I feel like the next step they might actually sell off TMNT. I just hope they don't sell it off to
Disney. Just don't give it to Disney.
Don't give it to Dynamite. Like give it to like another publisher. Like give it to Boom. Boom would do good.
Yeah, they kind of belong there because they already work with Boom on the TMNT stuff because they've done numerous numerous things with Boom, with the Power Rangers, with them. And, they get like Adam Parrott to write it. Like he writes them fantastically. He does really good with the Turtles. And you get Dan Morris done the art on both of those. And I mean, it's Dan Morris, say less. Epic. That's what it was. Epic. Appreciate that. Michael Conrad. There we go. Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad. It's the Wonder Woman team. Yeah. What is the Supermassive verse? Is that Radiant Black? Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mind some of it, but I did fall off of it fairly quick because there was just too many titles. I was like, oh, am I going to have to read all of these and stuff? I'm eventually going to go back because I did like Radiant Red and I forget what that other one was called, but I did start to enjoy some of the series from that, but I just didn't get into all of them.
And I agree with Scott here. The Bloodshot movie does grow on you. Like I didn't expect it to be like Marvel or DC level production and this and that, but I mean it was a decent enough movie. I'll be honest with you, I prefer a Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe. I think it's Bat in the Sun Productions that does a lot of those like high-end fan-made stuff. They did an entire movie called Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube. Jason David Frank even plays Bloodshot in that, but Exo was in it. Ninjak, who were the Eternal Warrior, I think, was in it. It was actually really good. Dark Horse has been knocked back into the indie section of previews. Wow. Dark Horse got brought from Embracer, THQ, so no worries from that. After all the Berserker covers, they are in trouble. Yeah, you say that, but there's a Berserker one-shot coming out. And Keanu Reeves was talking about how he hopes that, that story, that universe, that concept or idea can be picked up by other writers and artists and kind of just continued with in some form or fashion true to the original nature of their idea. Yeah, I fell off the radar.
That's basically Keanu Reeves saying, I would love to make some more money off of it without having to actually do any work on it.
Yeah, it sounds like Yeah, I hope he can make some more money off of it without writing too, because that second half of Berserker got really bad. You don't have to read all the titles. Rogue Song and Radiant Black have been fantastic, but I'm reading all of them. I fell off it pretty quick. Radiant Black I did not like. Did not like at all. I thought it was pretty cool when they killed the primary character. I'm like, oh, this is a major swerve. They're doing something we'd never expect, and his little sidekick was going to come into the forefront, but then they just brought him back. Then we got Zords, and then we got Hulk. But like, dude, this is just Power Rangers. It's just Power Rangers. Yeah, I got the Foil Night Terror Free Comic Book Day. Yes, sir.
Me too.
Then Bloodshot was shit. Bloodshot with JDF, I think it was better.
Boom Studios owned by Disney?
Boom Studios owned by Disney, so I can imagine any trouble for them.
I didn't know that. I mean, Disney owns Marvel. I wouldn't think that they would.
Netflix owns the Power Rangers. I thought Boom was Universal. Oh, wow, Disney does. Nope, Boom Studios was from Fox, but since Disney bought Fox, they own Boom Studios now. Makes sense.
Okay. That makes sense.
I wonder why we don't get like the Alien comics and stuff under Boom then, since that was Fox as well. Blows my mind. It's crazy. But I guess like how you're saying, like IDW is putting out Disney books as well. It's kind of weird when you get into the books with all the licensing of characters and properties and stuff. Hard to keep up with.
Yeah. Dark Horse is doing the children's Star Wars movies, books rather.
Oh yeah, the Adventures, right?
Right.
Yeah,
they seem to not want to do any of the children's books. They don't want to do under Marvel. They outsource them to other companies to do the children's books.
Disney probably doesn't even realize they own Boom. Never seen any sign outside of Boom Studio Books that they are owned by anybody. No advertising except from Boom Books. I think it's Boom Books that advertise grading companies too for a while.
I know I know a series from Boom ended up on Disney Plus. And it was an R.L. Stine series that came out from Boom Studios, and it got made into like a little mini TV show with separate TV shows and that. It was kind of funny though, because Boom Studios, even their logo showed up in the show. But yeah, it was based off of that comic. I forget what it was called though. I remember watching it. It was made strictly for kids though. I was like, yeah, it's not for me. But I remember it showing up on Disney Plus.
Are you and Owen back together?
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Just gonna
tell.
show you them. Just picture them.
1 second. Let me read this little handwriting right here. Yeah, and this credit for this, it's got like Nickelodeon listed. It's got Power Rangers LLC listed. It's got Hasbro listed. It's got Boom listed. Division
Yeah,
of Boom
because
Entertainment.
because it's a licensed property, and so they list all the companies that own the Power Rangers or whatever.
It's weird that they don't
Or the
actually put
Turtles.
Disney in there at all. Yeah, that's crazy. Too crazy. Tax reasons, maybe? I don't know. I remember when I was little. Do you remember Touchstone Pictures, like the movie company Touchstone Pictures? They used to have like
Yeah.
the little blue line that would come over. Bing. That was
They did
Disney.
Splash.
Yeah.
That was their division that did anything more than a G-rated movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in 2017, 20th Century Fox purchased a minority stake in Boom Studios. So the minority stake in it,
Right.
valued at $10 million. The Walt Disney Company inherited Fox stake in Boom Studios after Disney acquired 21st Century Fox assets on March 20th, 2019. In April 2020, Boom Studios established a first-look television deal with Netflix. While its first-look deal with 20th Century Fox Studios / Walt Disney Company remains in effect for film projects throughout 2021, ex-Marvel Television employee Mark Ambrose joined the studio as head of the television in August 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. So they have a minority. They don't control Boom. They have a minority stake in it. So
That's crazy. I know Kevin Smith made a deal with Dark Horse with the View Askew.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Disney, did y'all see where they're having major conference calls this past Wednesday on the, I think it was Wednesday, it was the 10th. They had investor calls about their ridiculously poor second quarter. Lost another 2 million subscribers. I know that I put up a post and there was a couple of Disney defenders that came out there. It's all from losing the streaming service arm in India, but Disney's not acting like that's all it's from, because their movies aren't returning on investment. The parks where they're only saving grace this quarter, which is time of the year, that's pretty impressive because school's not out or anything, but I guess people are making a mad dash before it gets busy. But yeah, some reports say 4 million, but the investment calls apparently are semi-public information. I don't know how or why, but they were talking about they're reducing heavily what's going to be available on Hulu, as that's Disney as well, because it costs them money to keep the catalog so big. They're going to reduce heavily the Disney Plus catalog. They're going to take a bunch of Disney movies and put them in the vault again, which, since the streaming days, we haven't really been vaulting Disney movies. They're going to vault them again, which is crazy to think about. They own the properties. I don't know how it'll cost them money to have them available on a streaming service, but that's just beyond comprehension. And then there's even rumblings about taking a page out of Warner Brothers' book and merging their platforms. Instead of having Hulu and Disney Plus, they're rumbling about merging the two into one streaming platform to save even more money, because apparently this whole streaming debacle for them has been a nightmare since inception. They haven't been profitable yet, and they're having the opposite effect. They're spending tons and tons of money to make these shows to draw subscribers in, and it's having the exact opposite effect for them. So it's a madhouse at the House of Mouse right now.
Yeah, and on top of all of that,
not $4 million, Phil. Not $4 million. 4 million subscribers.
Right.
And that's on top of the last quarter that had I think it was more than that the last quarter, right? Like they've had 2 consecutive quarters with alarming rates of people exiting their streaming service. So if you think what is it, like $15 a month times 8 million, 15 times, I mean that's alarming numbers for the platform for what it means, and that translates over into ticket sales and merchandise and stuff like that. When people are leaving and not connecting to these brands that you're spending money on everything else in your corporation on, like it's losses across the board. Like I'll use Eternals as a great measuring stick here because I do the toy stuff, and there's all kinds of stuff that's hitting, all kinds of news and videos and stuff that are out there right now from where the stock that hits Ollie's and bargain outlets and stuff. 100% of Ollie's are fully stocked with Eternals and Wakanda Forever merchandise now. From where those movies come out, they invest in everything else that goes with it, spend millions and millions of dollars, and then they make no money back on that either. So you're seeing like this horrible snowball effect from people not latching on to these franchises they're trying to build. It's crazy. Well, if they had some good shows, they might do better.
Yeah, but the problem with that is on top of all of that, basically where they're not creating any new talent, any new content right now because there's a writer's strike going on. And, they can do one of two things. Anything that's already obviously been written, they can continue to produce and film and whatever and do all that stuff. But it gets so granular that even if they were trying to film Deadpool, because of the strike, Ryan Reynolds could not ad-lib in Deadpool. That's how granular it gets for these when there's a writer's strike.
Yeah, and for movies, like most movie studios too have writers on set just
Correct.
in case, but now they won't be able to even do that.
Right. Yeah. So the options for Disney are to really kind of start to slow roll new content coming out to try to make it last until this is over, or face the prospect that everything that they filmed and released is then just they just stop releasing any new content at one point because there's nothing new to put out there, or we get a million more Survivor shows.
I'm 100% with Esteban here. I don't mind Disney owning Star Wars or Marvel at all.
Yeah.
They just need to get their house in order, and I don't think their house has been in order since they bought either of the franchises.
I think Star Wars is slowly getting there. I feel like I have hope for some Star Wars projects coming forth, especially like not even doing like a whole this is our universe, but we're going to do a timeline. This is our timeline of what we're doing. I feel like that. It's going to be good. Andor season 2 is, I think, done filming. I think it was done. So that's definitely coming out, but everything else they have not announced anything for Star Wars. They've announced stuff, but they haven't dated it. They're doing it the smart way and saying we're not going to really put a date on it because we want to make sure that this is good and this is going to be good. Now that they don't have any expectations of being we have to push this Star Wars project back because they haven't even set a date for it yet. Mm-hmm. So I have hope for Star Wars, but for Marvel, it's hard to say with everything that's connected.
I'm done with Marvel. I've said it going into Guardians. I said it when I watched Guardians, and I feel very, very happy with my decision. That is the last MCU movie for me. Anything else that comes out, if I hear good things about it, I'll catch it when I catch it. I do have Disney Plus. I do have Netflix. I got kids in the house, and my wife, a bunch of her shows are on Netflix. I watch movies on there every now and then. I'm more of a YouTube guy. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I do live on HBO Max, and I do a lot of Hulu as well. That's where It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is. So I definitely need that platform. Even though since Disney bought it, they took a bunch of episodes off of it. But I definitely agree with this. The problem is with who Disney hires. It's that simple. Like, I mean, like, I don't know if they knew what they were getting into when they bought these franchises. You can't just because you own the franchises doesn't mean you have the creative mindset of like legends like Stan Lee or George Lucas. You know, those people are legends because they're legends, not because you gave them money to do something. You know, there's certain creatives out there that just are one in a million. It's a lot. Bad merchandise techniques, buying bad merch, not really appealing to kids, and missing a huge part right there. Absolutely, dude. And the idiots that are running the ship up there. Just for context here, Thor 4 pulled $750 million at the box office and still didn't turn a profit because of bad managing of these projects. They're expecting this uphill trend of people going like to catch billion-dollar movies every time they release one, and it's going the opposite direction. That's crazy that you can do a $750 million movie and not turn a profit, because that budget that they show you, that's the initial budget. That doesn't account for the reshoots, the marketing, the contracts with the certain actors and stuff, like how Robert Downey Jr. did that. And also keep in mind, everything you see at the box office for Disney, they have approximately a 50% gate with theaters. So if it's $750 at the box office, that's them only bringing back $375.
Mm-hmm.
So when Ant-Man came out and totally flopped, and Guardians, it blows my mind. Guardians is not tracking well, not for what it is. It's a $250 million budget. Keep in mind that movie was delayed years, so there's all kinds of fees attached to that thing, all kinds of fees. So all in all, I bet that movie cost them probably around $5. They're probably in for $5.
It's at $475 million right now, which is in 2 weeks is as much as Ant-Man made in its entire run.
Yeah, that's crazy, and that was them introducing Kang.
Mm-hmm.
He's
So House
also
of L
having issues.
House of L is asking what the writers are looking for.
I think it's streaming.
The short answer is streaming. The last time this happened, they were looking for some sort of cut for every time a DVD or a Blu-ray or whatever was sold. And now with physical media going away and it's all streaming now, they're looking to get some sort of the pot for every time something gets streamed.
They're wanting royalties. They're wanting contract guarantees. They're wanting healthcare and guarantee that AI is not ever going to be an option. Those are the four things that they're wanting. So, you know, like he said, like with physical media, they would get percentages of what sold. Well, that's not a thing with streaming. They need that. And then with the way that these streaming companies are working, they bring in a small writer's room to pin out a series. And then they don't hire those writers. They just let them pin them out. Then they go get cheap workforces to work on the shows after that. They get actual talented individuals that cost money to come in and do the heavy lifting, and then they let someone carry it once they lift it up for them. They're like, no, that's not going to cut it. And then they want health, like some way of compensating for health benefits and stuff as well. And then they want AI. Like, that's a thing. AI is a huge issue in the creative landscape right now. They want AI off the table because ChatGPT can come in and, like, someone made a joke on one of my posts when I was talking about Daredevil getting put on hold indefinitely while this writer strike happens. Someone put a comment under it and said, hey, ChatGPT, adapt Frank Miller's Daredevil into a screenplay. Done. You know, I'm like, yeah, that's actually the problem. They can do it, though. You know, the thing is, it can legitimately do it. Yeah, this is going to be bad if they drag this out. I think it was bad timing, too. I don't know when they started to do the negotiations, but the contracts ended at like May 1st or something like that, and they just hadn't come to a resolution by then. So here we are, like almost 2 weeks into a writer's strike.
The writers got rid of Paul.
They did. Esteban, you're more than welcome to do that. I hope you hold me accountable, my friend. But you definitely won't see me buying a ticket to go see another MCU movie until something drastically changes. That being said, when will it be time to see one? We have look at look at June alone. You got Transformers: Rise of the Beast, The Flash. I think we're getting Fast X, which I know everyone's excited for. Watch this, everybody. Brie Larson was brought into the franchise for Fast X. Now, is that movie going to tank because Brie Larson is in it? Or is it about to make Oprah money because people love this goofy franchise? And Brie Larson's never a problem. People just like shitty movies.
I think everybody's gonna like go see it because they're just like, oh, it's the last one.
Curveball.
They said that with number 5.
Yeah, I think that they announced that they're going to 3-part this one. I think they were trying to wait till the movie came out to officially announce it. But I'm fairly certain that Fast X is getting multi-parted.
Yep.
And before it's all over, because I think The Rock and Vin Diesel have had some bad blood. Rock just doesn't like the cut of his jib. And Vin Diesel is just Vin Diesel, and The Rock is just The Rock, and sometimes they just don't agree with things. But it looks like they're going to extend the Fast X to be multi-parted, and we are going to get The Rock back in the franchise before it's all said and done. I hope so. He belongs there. He saved that franchise with Fast 5, man. I love The Rock. Blade was delayed, not canceled.
Right.
Emphasis on the caps.
Because that would be the worst thing for them to do is cancel Blade, in my opinion, because like Blade is going to be fire.
Yes, we were evil. Yes, we were. Terminator 2, Alien, Predator. Like they were marketing to kids. Like they're gonna watch it when it comes on TV. I love those toys.
And also, we get Blue Beetle in August.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's coming fast too. Johnson Majors got into public issues and maybe recast. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Disney, I don't know. They get healthcare through the WGA, right? Yeah, but they were. That's part of what they're talking about is the healthcare stuff. I don't know how it works or anything like that, but they're trying to renegotiate that as well. Writers' pay rights now is proportionally equivalent of what they got in the last strike. They're back to where they were last time. I don't think they can get a guarantee on the AI stuff. Then we won't get writers because that's where they're at on it. Crow reboot.
They're also scared because like doesn't the AI it takes stories that have already been told, kind of mix it and match those and take whatever writers have already written and like use bits and pieces to make a story. Isn't that how it goes?
They can do like things. I mean, it sounds like it can do that.
And that's what they're worried about, like them using the AI, using their structure, their way of telling a story, because like AI can only take for whatever's already out there and doesn't create anything new. It just is my understanding.
It's going to be a trilogy. Starts this weekend. Yeah, Jason Momoa has joined as well, calling back to Fast 5 as well.
So has John Cena.
John Cena joined in that last one as Vin Diesel's brother Jacob. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, what's crazy is these movies has turned into Roger Moore, James Bond era, and they're just fun. They're just fun. Rock won't work with Cena either. I don't know.
Supposedly, if the writer's strike is completed or resolved, James Gunn says that Superman Legacy will start filming in January.
Yeah, I like how you do have these people out there like James Gunn. It's like, I completely stand with these writers. Also, Superman's not being affected by this. I've already wrote it. I promise. I'm done. I wrote it. And the guy's there every day, I bet. Every day. Like, I want to write Superman. Like, his passion on this project. Dude, I was so worried just because I'm like, I've seen a lot of James Gunn stuff, like pre-Guardians too, like with Slither and stuff like that. Picturing what he would do with Superman is very difficult to see. But then when he shared that intimate stuff about what the character means to him and like his connection with his father and stuff, I'm like, oh, we're in good hands. Because he's clearly a talented writer. He clearly has respect for the source material and what he works with. And he hasn't missed on a single superhero project yet. But a non-comedy movie, we'll see. We'll see.
Supposedly Nicholas Hoult was actually the top frontrunner for Lex, not for Clark.
Yeah. Better than Jesse Eisenberg.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. But we've hit that 2-hour mark at this point. Y'all want to go around the horn and say what you're thankful for on YouTube, and then we'll head out of here for the night.
Oh, me? I'm thankful for all of these great people that I've met throughout this amazing community. Get to hang out with people that I've watched now, like Legion of Comics, hanging out with Sector 2815, been on his show quite a bit for Guess That Key, who I nominated, by the way. Also, I get to hang out with my buddy Geek Out with Roscoe every Mondays for Between the Lines. This week we'll have Jinja the Ninja joining us all the way from Japan. So it would be our first Japan person we have on, and the theme is Red Sonja. So it's pretty easy.
Dynamite.
Nothing like too serious. But that's what I'm thankful for in this amazing community, and that is the people that I've got to meet throughout this amazing journey.
I can't say anything as good as that. I was going to say, I'm thankful I learned how to block people. No, I'm just obviously, just being able to meet all the people that I've met, and forging friendships, and having these people be a part of my life is what I am most thankful for.
I'm thankful for my mom and my kids' mom. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We're halfway through the month. That means we're halfway closer to the next Legion Loot drawing for the channel members. So if you haven't joined the channel membership already, be sure to hit that join button down below to support the channel even farther and get in your name in the hat for the drawing for the Legion Loot, sponsored by Big Time Collectibles and the US Book Exchange. We also have some pieces in there that were donated by Legal Burning on Instagram. Fantastic artist. Be sure to check him out. I've already got this month's books pulled. Probably be adding a few more as like some cool like new comic book day stuff drops over the next couple of weeks. But we got like the first appearance of Nebula in there. Got some slabs in there, some art in there. It's gonna be a good one. First Star-Lord in comic book. Yeah. Going Guardians for it. Going Guardians. But I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Be sure to make sure you have that notification bell on, because we're going to be exploring the many different Green Lantern power rings for tomorrow's video. And until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.
I just turned it on.